In this video, I'm going to be testing out some new lures. I'm fishing out of a 22-foot bait boat. I don't have a trolling motor, so we're going to be just doing some drifting. I have 2 hours to fish, so let's see if we can get some action. I just pulled up the first spot. I want to target this oyster bar. There's an oyster bar out here, and I'm using the motor as a guide to help drift over there. So I kind of went a little bit too far in, so I just put the motor down. I turn it to the side. So now this boat should start shifting over toward that direction, and I'll put the motor all the way down just to make sure that I don't get too shallow, right? I can always get out and push off. If I leave the motor up, then the boat's gonna hit. I'd rather just have the motor hit, almost like a super expensive power pole. So let's go ahead and get started with this small little guy, and let's see if this suspending lure can get some action. Oh, first cast. First cast got something. Looks like a little trout. I don't know, that's first cast is bad luck. What do you guys think? I'm not a fan of fish on the first cast at all. Maybe it doesn't count since it's so small. That's a little guy, but lure is proven to get some action at least. Oh my gosh, this is 2 casts in a row. This is off to a real good start. I think I'm already a big fan of the, that one just got off. That was a bigger trout, but got off, but wow. I mean, 2 casts, 2 fish on. Kind of tough to beat that. I'm just gonna keep fishing the same little area. And what we're fishing here is it's about probably 2.5 feet. We have some grass down there, kind of some spotted grass. So you have grass, sand, and that is usually a really good combination for sea trout. All right. Oh, there we go. A lizard fish just came up. There was a trout following, and a lizard fish came up and smacked it. 3 casts, 3 fish on. That is really impressive. Another trout, solid one too. Check it out, solid trout. Lure's just barely hanging in there. All right, well, not much up here in the shallow, or just this trout, we're just holding off the flat. So we're gonna pick up and move before we get up too shallow and go on to spot number 2. Look at the size of this puffer. That is a beast. If this was a soft plastic, that lure would be toast. Nothing's happening here, so let's bail. Gave it about 10 minutes and no action. All right, looks like we can get a nice drift right here. I was actually I want to fish this back into this cove. I used to do well back here years ago, but we have a wind, should get a nice little drift. Let me turn the motor just a hair, keep us out of the mangroves. That motor is a big deal when drift fishing like this. You can really control your direction as long as you're good with planning how that motor is going to impact the drift. All right, so nothing's going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare to anchor. We have an old school anchor here. Obviously power poles or stick it pins are much more effective, but as long as we're quiet, we can still anchor without spooking these fish up in the shallows. It's going to be very slow movement, and so I'm just going to anchor a long ways up from where we actually want to be. I guess I can just leave that there. We'll just let the rope go out. Right, have it out, have it ready to go before we get close to our spot. We're going to anchor about 200 yards up. All right, so we're just going to drift on up into the zone. Oh, there we are. Got something, looks like a little trout hanging out in the grass. So I want to be able to cast and hit that little cut as well as that little point. That's my goal. Turn this motor a little bit more to the other side. It's like another lizard fish. All right, so once I let this guy go, I'm gonna go ahead and anchor. All right, so anchoring in shallow water, crucial to be super quiet. Anchor, everything quiet, slow drop. And quiet, and we're gonna lift up the end, make sure those points dig in. There we are. Now, hopefully these fish are here. Ooh, big fish. Big fish came, took a swipe at it. Oh, there we are, got him. Nice. This could be the red we were looking for. Yep, we have redfish. Not as big as I thought. Solid little red, maybe a barely slot fish. Suck down that lure. All right, so this is gonna be last cast. Really not seeing much life other than that red and lizard fish I caught, but I just saw like 1 or 2 jumping mullet. Just really isn't enough. So I've been giving this about probably 15 minutes or so. Time is of the essence. So last cast, and we're gonna pick up and move, try to find a better zone. All right, so pulling up to another spot. Basically what I'm looking for are spots that are going with the wind where I can cover a lot of shoreline. I'm trying to get that snook. So we're gonna fish. This wind should help me basically stay within casting distance for at least maybe 100 yards or so of shoreline. So we're gonna give that a whirl. Would be cool to get a slam on the first time using this this new little lure out. Go ahead and shut it off here and let's drift in. There we go. Oh, another puffer fish. What are the odds? Oh, very glad I'm not throwing soft plastics today. Wasn't seeing much life, so I went and moved to another spot. This one I was drifting the shallow zone looking for snook up on the shoreline. Unfortunately got a little bit too shallow. All right, this water's probably gonna be chilly. Yep, it's cold. That motor acted as a nice little anchor there. It didn't get too shallow. Just push it off into the deep stuff and we'll be good to go. Hopefully we find some more snook. So as you can see, when you get too shallow, worst case, just have to get out, push for a little bit, no big deal. And the reason why I chose this spot is because the wind was going parallel to the shoreline. So once I got off that flat, or off the bottom I should say, I was able to drift straight down the shoreline. I would stay deep enough for the boat to float while being close enough to pick off some fish. Unfortunately, another puffer was the only thing that I caught. So shortly after, went and moved to a different spot. Oh man, that was a good fish. Oh, nice trout. That thing came up and smoked it. Uh-oh, there's dolphin's still around me. I gotta get this guy in the boat quick. Nice fish. Very nice fish. That's at least 20. See if I find a live well in this thing. Make sure that dolphin does not get him. Yeah, the wind was pretty bad, so I'm just going to talk what I was doing. So basically that dolphin was following the boat. It was waiting on me to release this trout, and had I done it, it would have quickly eaten the trout. So what I did is I put the trout in the live well, and you can see how close this dolphin was. It was literally right on the boat. Apparently people have fed it before, or people have been releasing fish, and it goes and claims it. So make sure to not release fish near a dolphin. Well, unfortunately that's going to call it. I got to go back in for lunch, but what a fun trip. And this little lure proved to be quite the catcher. Did get my slam, but had the opportunities. Had a snook just pop it there at the end, but missed him. And I'll just keep doing some testing, make sure we get the hooks dotted in perfectly. But this size actually seemed to have a good hookup ratio while not getting snagged up around the line or around themselves. So most importantly, if you're having trouble catching inshore fish, whether it's redfish, sea trout, snook, or flounder, make sure to join the Insider Fishing Club. I just utilized the exact tactics explained in the weekend game plan. So every Friday we give the game plan for the weekend on where the fish should be holding, what types of lures or baits should be working. I just literally just followed that recipe and got onto some fun fish, even without having a trolling motor or any kind of fancy electronics. I literally have no electronics, no trolling motor, and still got some fun fish catching action in a short trip while testing out a new lure. It's all about finding the fish, and the Insider Club helps you put yourself in the right spots at the right time based on the conditions. So if you haven't yet joined, make sure to do so. It's at saltstrong.com. You have literally nothing to lose. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.